Hi, everybody. Today we are going to finish the sculpting of the fins and start looking at the facial features of our fish. We are going to go ahead and put a little area on here, and we are going to stretch those out using our drag tool. So when we get to our long tail fins, we're going to want to add some material here. Like we did before, we want to have something to work with. Now you can see here the way I did it made a really thin ridge, which I don't think is preferable at the moment. To prevent that from happening, we're going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to get right at the end, and we're going to be able to see by scrolling to the side where that's being added a little bit more easily. Again, we want to put it onto the end here. And if it's being stretched out, that's actually going to be a problem for us. We're going to try to avoid that. All right, that's a good start for the top fin. I'm going to rotate down to the bottom and do a little addition down here. So I've got something to pull out, material to work with. If I don't have that, I'm going to end up with stretched out polygons, which are really difficult to work with. So again, that happened. I'm going to undo that last step. All right, that's about as good as I'm going to get it for now, it seems. So when we've got some material to work with here, we are going to set our radius pretty high on our drag tool. I've got it set over 100, and you can see that it's going to allow me to start pulling things out to where they want to be. A good idea here is to be checking against your example. This looks okay to start with, but we also are going to be able to pull out individual smaller pieces. You can reset your radius or not, but that's how to do it. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing now with the bottom. Okay, and you can see, oh no, I'm pulling out this other fin as well. So I'm going to have to bring my radius down a little bit so it's not within my radius. You can see right there why that happened. That's something to definitely be aware of. All right. I'm starting to get a similar size and shape. I'm going to set my radius down here to bring out just a little point. And then I'm going to use that small radius drag tool, zoom in a little bit, to bring a separate and different shape, like I see in my example, to the tail fin. I'm going to pause and then resume when I have my results. Okay, so I've used my drag tool to change some of the shapes here. And my last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to point out that the drag tool does make these kind of little fin looking shapes within your Sculpt GL work. Now, you may not like that. You might like to go to a much smoother version. I actually selected this assignment because that texture would naturally work with the subject matter of our fish. But if you do want to get that to be a little bit smoother, a good idea to do is to select your thin surface checkbox. That way you're not actually doing anything beyond the very top layer of the mesh. You can create a smooth look without changing the overall shape. I think in a previous step, you might have seen that I smoothed something and it actually changed the shape. All right, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I might do a little bit more work to complete the assignment. However, now we are going to be looking towards the last step, which is going to be working on the gills, the face, and the mouth a little bit. Okay, so of course, as always, our last step is going to be to save our work in the save.obj file format, and you'll be able to open that in your folder. And I think it's always a good idea to rename your projects so that the different meshes that you're downloading won't be confused with the other ones. So I'm going to write here fins final. Now I'm going to be ready to work on it next time. All right, take care, guys.